Hello and welcome to Breakfast All Day. I'm Matt. That's Christy. That's
Hi.
Alonso.
Which one do we look at, Matt? There are two cameras.
Look at the big one.
Okay.
Yeah, they're close enough together. It doesn't matter.
For those of you who are listening and can't see us, we also do a YouTube version of this, and Matt's got like multiple cameras set up.
Because I have a new camera, but it's got too many options. And so I'm still using the phone as the backup.
Okay.
I feel like I'm being stalked by the paparazzi.
And anyway, so if you're watching us, we do know that you're there.
Yes.
We're just looking elsewhere. Anyway, it's a busy week. We have new terrible January stuff, and we have good things from before to catch up with.
Right. What are we doing first?
Let's do Underwater.
Okay. I didn't do that. I haven't seen it, so go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Alonso gets to describe Underwater, which is a really complicated premise.
Oh, it's very, yes. It's basically wet alien.
Let me ask a question, though. Are they underwater?
Very.
Extremely.
Well, at
as
least they
far
got
as
that
you
right.
can get.
They're in the Mariana Trench, so they're down at the bottom of the ocean, drilling for energy. But what have they tapped into? We open with Kristen Stewart, who is in the middle of getting dressed when suddenly what appears to be an earthquake rocks the undersea station that she's in. And so she and Vincent Cassell as the captain, and T.J. Miller, and a couple of other, and John Gallagher Jr., and the woman from Iron Fist, whose name I forget, have to walk on the ocean floor in these super deep dive suits, pressurized suits, to get to the escape pods to liberate themselves. Maybe it's a monster. Maybe it's something else.
It's a cautionary tale.
Yes,
That's what it
about
is.
the ecology. It is. I'll give it this. It is a super straightforward and short, B movie. Like, they do not waste time futzing around with setup or characters or any kind of backstory or exposition. They're just like bam and go and do, and we're done. Bye.
Right. You don't even know what Kristen Stewart's character's name is for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know anything about her other than
An old photograph that's supposed to tell us a lot of things.
She's a badass, clearly, because she's just running around in her undies, brushing her teeth with her super short, silvery haircut. And, it is lean and mean. To borrow one of Matt's favorite phrases, it does what it says on the box. It's extremely derivative.
Oh, yeah.
No, unabashedly so.
It's every idea is borrowed from elsewhere.
Totally
Jessica
alien.
Henwick.
It's totally alien, and Kristen Stewart is just Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, they are working the Ripley connections really hard. Mm-hmm. And, the thing is, the movie almost, I don't know if it's a thing where it just got recut, or they dangle this idea that they then do nothing with.
Can you say what the idea is?
Sure, yeah. Like in the opening narration monologue that Kristen Stewart has, she talks about how when you're under the sea that long and you don't see the sun, how day and night blurs together, and how dream life and wakefulness, you can't quite tell which is which.
Do they start singing Under the Sea?
They do not. But I kept thinking, oh, okay, so is this going to be a thing where horrible stuff happens, but then we're not sure if she dreamed it or not, or
like The Descent?
Yeah, no, they don't. It's never brought up again. There's no moment of oh no, actually this didn't happen. I dreamt it. No, it just, they say it and then they don't do anything with it.
I thought perhaps they might go there with it as well.
Yeah.
When the first blasts begin and she goes to grab for her shoes, that she might then wake up.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to happen. Also, because it all happens so quickly, within the first couple of minutes of the film beginning, there's no building sense of dread, which I think might have been quite powerful. The movie is 82 minutes long, and even if they had dragged it out to 89 minutes or whatever, I feel like letting us get into this world a little bit.
Yeah, what's it like before it starts falling apart?
And and to have a sense of, as she alludes to, the blur of day and night and the confusion, and that might have helped build some tension, because as it is, it's it just yanks you into it, and then everything is exploding and there's water everywhere. And as is the formula with these kinds of movies, they're not all gonna make it.
Right.
It's not a spoiler there, and so it's just a matter of who goes when and how gnarly it is. The first time you see, though, the thing, there's a thing underneath there. The small version of it does look awfully familiar.
Yeah.
There are some visuals here that they didn't even try. They didn't even try to come up with a creature that looks new. You've seen this little thing before. That's all I'm going to say.
There's a lot of James Cameron in this movie. Like, there's a lot of aliens. There's a lot of the abyss. So, yeah, I mean, it is unfortunately nothing new and nothing special, but it is at least... I was never bored, and I liked Kristen Stewart's performance. She kind of commits to this, you know, sort of store brand Ripley, basically. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing special, but it's not like it didn't make me angry. It's just sort of like
I wasn't angry, but I was perhaps not as gripped by it as it was aiming for me to be. And part of it is it's really hard to tell a lot of the time what's happening underwater.
Yes.
And William Eubank directed this, and he also has been a cinematographer. And I don't know whether that's intentional to make us feel the sense of confusion and just confusion as to, you know, because they're walking on the floor of the ocean, and at some points they have to turn off the little lights, the little flashlights that are attached to their helmet and their suit, because the lights are a distraction to the thing that's coming after them, and that makes it even murkier. And again, I wonder, are they trying to put us in these heavy, clunky boots along with these people to feel the confusion?
Well, especially, it sounds like if they had brought, I mean, having not seen the movie, but if they had brought up the idea of like, oh, you never know what's going on if you've been underwater too much.
Right.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is you can't see what's happening.
Yeah, no, I agree. and especially because there's a lot of close-ups happening. And so you don't get that larger sense of where are they in space in regard to each other.
I thought they were underwater, not in space.
This much, I'm going to hit you.
In the space of the ocean.
Yeah,
the space of the water.
In the frame. The mise en scène, Matt.
The Deus Ex Machina, Matt. Come on.
Space by the ocean.
But yeah, so it's just, but there's too many times where it's like it is disorienting and not in a way that feels intentional.
Right. Maybe it just looks shoddy. Also, there's a thing where they can kind of look at each other inside their helmets.
Right.
Like there's a thing where they are like attuned to one another's wavelength. Like Kristen Stewart, who is the engineer, can see Vincent Cassell's broadcast, live
Little video
stream,
screen
whatever it is,
helmet,
in the front of her helmet. And he's the captain. And they don't use that in a particularly effective way.
No.
It's like an interesting idea that they then discard. Like it would be kind of cool if like she can see what's happening and see with like dread and not be able to do anything about it.
Right.
But it's just like a green kind of fuzzy blip in front of her that they don't execute in any way that's terribly effective.
Yeah.
Like some ideas here that are cool that like they just drop. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's too short. I like Lean and Mean. I was thinking of a movie like The Shallows when I was watching this, because The Shallows gets right into it, and you know it knows what it is, and it's tight and it's fast and it's gripping, and I feel like this is kind of like that, but I might have enjoyed a little more padding there.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes when a movie is this short, it just means like they just hacked it to bits and this is what's left, you know, because I mean, yeah, I think there is a whole sort of branch of genre filmmaking, especially, that is like in and out and cheap and quick and done. Whereas like, you know, when studios do it, it's like, well, it wasn't cheap. And if it's quick, it's probably because you felt like there were all these scenes that didn't work, and then you release it in January, you know? So, you know, I think if you see it just for the kind of like the cheap thrills aspect of it and not expecting like a real movie, you might come away sort of like somewhat fulfilled.
Yeah, and there's some tight spaces they have to get into. I was impressed with the way that they shot those, because stuff has collapsed and they have to like swim under and through and climb, and so they definitely got into some tight spaces with these people, and that is executed in a solid way to make you feel tight and cramped with them. But then once they get out into the vastness of the murkiness of it all, it's a little confusing. So I'm saying 5.8. It's fine.
Yeah, I said 6.6. I think it's, like I said, it's mostly satisfactory, but it's just, you know, it's kind of redundant.
Yeah, so our numbers is 6.2. It is at 48% on the tomato meter.
Yikes. All right, well, hey, thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can visit us on social media at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and maybe mosey over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. That's where we do special stuff just for our Patreon subscribers. members, we talk about trailers, we talk about movie news, we do TV recaps. We just came off a whole big season of those, and we'll be gearing into some new shows in the weeks to come.
Award season.
Award season. We're going to be talking a lot about award season.
Whether or not you want to.
Ooh, and
almost as much as trailers. How about trailers for awards season?
All my favorites. And if you are, for some members, you get stickers, and those stickers are being sent to us as we speak. So we'll be sending them to you very soon. If you've already joined, thank you for that. And if you haven't, go visit and check it out. Maybe you'll want to. Anyway, have a good week, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, bye.